Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Switching down the ops might be one of the most satisfying things in anime that we simply just don't get enough of. Mainly because a lot of shonen anime have stories that don't revolve around the use of guns or power systems just completely render them useless. But Riyo from Gachiakuta literally took this term and pushed this shit to a whole different meaning because of how easy she was making this shit look. So we just gonna be analyzing a few scenes from Gachiakuta and how it completely embodies this feeling of switching down your ops to absolute perfection. So the scene starts off with homegirl Riyo getting separated from everyone, and she ends up running into this girl Noriday, who just be calmly stroking her shit with a comb. And this girl told Riyo that she had direct orders from this dude Zodal to take out as many people as possible, meaning these two were about to throw down and run the ones. So Riyo whips out her scissors, and like the young barber she is, she gets to work. Starts out by giving this girl Noriday that barber just a few inches off the top treatment by swinging her scissors above her head and then snapping them bitches shut. And Riyo for real thought this fight was gonna be free elo. She said, your silky hair versus my scissors mean light work, and then tries to go in for another attack, but this time she was sent flying back and realized that making contact with her hair felt like getting the Hassan dog treatment. I'm weak, making Riyo eat her words right there, because it turns out that Noriday's hair got electricity running through her shit. So instead the tables were turned and Riyo was the one that was actually at a disadvantage. So Noriday flings her hair at Riyo while she weaves that shit and hits this elite spin move to blow her hair away so she doesn't get electrocuted. And as Riyo starts analyzing that last play, she starts to dip, and Noriday chases after her with Riyo doing her best Corey Kenshin impression by randomly disappearing into thin air somehow, causing Noriday to start falling for this weak ass rage bait. And dog, pause this shit real quick. I ain't ever seen a woman ever hit this type of devilish smile in my life. The rest might have to review her for unnecessary demon timing, because Duke Dennis, is that you? Anyways, Riyo finds out that Noriday's hair electricity runs on a timer every time she strokes that shit. Pause again. So she waits for her electricity in her hair to dissipate, giving her a good opening to chop her shit up. Riyo for real said, fuck a scissor trim, I think we gotta go ball with this one. But to Riyo's surprise, Noriday somehow managed to dodge this shit, spinning around and hitting her with this mean ass roundhouse kick, setting herself up for the nastiest elbow to the gut I've seen. But instead of completely folding like somebody else in the show, Zonka's bitch ass, this girl Riyo got up, put her weapon away, and decided, fuck being a barber today, she could catch these hands instead. Now chat, stay with me as we analyze the fuck out of this play. Hitting each other with an injustice clash with a block, block, block. Parry. She needs Riyo, having homegirl on the defensive, weaving all her shit, and right here is where we get into the meat and potatoes of this fight. These two were for real going bam for bam, bar for bar with these hits, going back and forth, clashing with each other at the exact same time, pushing each other back, hitting each other with this fuck ass pose. Riyo then flash steps towards her, socking her in the jaw, but Noriday eats that shit and hits her with a quick ass counter, and they just kept going at it. This was dead ass the equivalent of watching Prime Curry and LeBron in double OT. I was hyped as hell seeing this shit. About a few minutes later though, and both of them are out of steam, tired as hell. They were getting into it so much that Riyo's whole hairstyle just came loose. And in Riyo's mind, she just like, alright bro, she dragging this shit, I just want to go home. Well, that's when Riyo had a realization. Started looking around her surroundings, and she says to Noriday, yo, so you're telling me that ain't nobody can hear us no matter how loud we are? Yes bitch, I told you, ain't nobody coming to save her ass after I cook you. I bet. Say less, twin. I got something for you then. No! Hey yo, chill! Okay, let's run a replay on that shit. After Noriday responded to her question, she said this shit in the most nonchalant tone while slowly pulling the Glock out of her jacket. And Noriday immediately goes from confident that she gonna whoop her ass to, yo gang, is that a strap? As a loud bang goes off and Noriday drops to the floor. and we see this girl Riyo hitting the nastiest pose of the decade with the Glock in hand after getting that green line that ain't no cameras or witnesses were around. Riyo was legit moving like an American school threat, dog. I'm crying. And bro, look at this goofy ass girl turned demon. Something about her face is throwing me off, more specifically the way she has a little smile while at the same time she has these big ass deadpan eyes. This for real making me think she might be King Von's long lost daughter or something. This one face she got on looking like my homeboy when he finds out that his girl is going to Fort Lauderdale for spring break and won't be texting him the entire time she's there because she wants to quote unquote spend some time with her girls, just inches away from completely crashing the fuck out. And bro, this whole scene caught me so off guard because up until this point, Riyo was never really hinted at using anything else besides her scissors until now. So Noriday is on the ground down and out for the count and she's like, oh hell no, you're using your secondary? That's some bullshit. Along with the crazy reveal that she just been carrying around a gun this entire time. Turns out that in Riyo's past, this was her profession, fucking switching down people and catching bodies. And while she was on top of Noriday, she said, hey bro, you ain't better snitch to nobody or else I will switch your ass down a second time. Don't play with me. Also, my fault, twin. You were just too strong. It would have been really hard for me to defeat you without killing you. What? Nah, that's gotta be at least some form of unsportsmanlike conduct. To know that this goofy ass girl was holding back almost the entire time so that she doesn't accidentally slime you out has got to be one hard pill to swallow. Not gonna lie, if I was in Noriday's place and I got disrespectfully switched down by Riyo, I'd for real be rethinking my life choices. I am not built for this shit. And the whole reason why we never saw Riyo switching down motherfuckers until now was because she promised Engine for some reason that she wouldn't slime nobody out no more, especially with her vital instrument. And with Noriday down, Riyo took care of business, but she wasn't done just yet. Because if y'all thought that the only time she was going to use this fuck ass Glock was against Noriday, you're so fucking wrong. Meanwhile, Zanka's bum ass just lost to Jabber for a second time in a row, and Jabber over here thinking that everything was free eats barbecue chicken from there, hitting emotes and shit while dragging Zanka's sorry ass away until a gunshot rang from the tunnel in the distance and went right through Jabber's leg. And for the first time in this series, this man Jabber for real got caught lacking and was livid when this shit happened, being like, ah hell no bro, that's third party, you fuckhead. But Riyo ain't give a fuck. And dog, what happens next? Deadass made Jabber look like the sorriest villain in existence in a mere 4 fucking seconds, because Riyo turned this man into dairy with the way he got Swiss cheese while Riyo was switching this man down with a devious smile on her face, had him on the floor wasted, unable to move or do anything. And dog, no amount of his poison is going to numb the damage of having a whole mag getting dumped into your entire body. And Riyo is just standing over him being like, oh you ain't bitch mate, you'll be fine. And when she looks over to her right, she sees Zanka doing a 1-to-1 cosplay of Peter Griffin on the floor, so she picks him up and heads out while carrying his sorry ass. In conclusion, Riyo might be the best reincarnation of King Von I've ever seen.